This guy, I love him so much. I'm just going to read you the headline here. White councilman in Indiana sparks outrage after proclaiming himself to be a lesbian woman of color who is, quote, living life as his true self. But angry trans local is calling for him to resign, which is shocking to me.
Hi, everyone. Here's Councilman identify as a lesbian woman of color. And I basically believe that he's just playing the same game that the people on the left, which is the progressive people, play, so he could let them know how ridiculous this whole identifying as how you're feeling idea is. Let's take a look and then we'll talk about it.
There's reporting on this remarkable story.
A councilman is coming out as transgender and a woman of color. Delaware County Councilman Ryan Webb announced that he now identifies as an Indian American woman. Since that announcement, he's received some support, but a lot of backlash, many calling him childish, despicable, even calling for things like execution. In a statement Webb gave to ITMate, he says, quote, "It is unfortunate that I cannot simply be given the same space and respect to explore my identity that so many of those targeting me demand for themselves. It's possible I may change my mind down the road. The process of identity exploration is complex, and oftentimes at the end of our personal journey, we end right back where we started." Webb goes on to tell ITMate this is just his true, authentic self.
It is so obvious to me that this is his true, authentic self, and that there are people out there, trans activists, that are calling him childish and despicable. I mean, I have no words. I have no words for that sort of hatred and bigotry. And it is, in particular, one transgendered resident from his town named Charlize Jamieson who said, quote, "His words not only embarrass himself, but you, the county council." This is shocking, Charlize, especially you as a transgendered resident. You know better than anybody that if you feel it, therefore it is. So maybe, Charlize, you're thinking you were born a man, but you feel like a woman. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you were born a woman and you feel like a man. Well, my dear Ryan Webb here was born a white male, but he feels that his soul, what he identifies with, is a black lesbian. Sorry, an Indian American lesbian, a person of color and a lesbian. And it's shocking that you find that to be embarrassing. It almost feels like perhaps your existence is embarrassing. And that's why you don't like the fact that Ryan Webb is holding up a mirror to your very own ideas. Either everybody can identify with what they want to identify it with, no matter how ridiculous it sounds to you, if they feel it, therefore it is, or it's all a farce and there is such a thing as objective reality. And you should identify with what your actual biological parts are, because that's all you're ever going to be. I'm not sure, but I'm certainly glad that Ryan Webb exists. And for those of you that are wondering, yes, he is joking. I'm assuming he is joking because he has thanked the Dailywire and he has thanked Matt Walsh for his support. And he has also said that every person should watch What is a Woman by Matt Walsh and the Dailywire. And I tend to agree with that statement.
You have to combat these ridiculous ideas. The fact that people could identify of how they feel or what they feel like. We see many people identify as animals, identifying as all these different things that you can't even think of, right? So here, this man is playing the same game that they are playing. But I don't really believe that he is serious about this, like what CandaceOwens said. But this is just to let them know how crazy their ideas is, and look how it made these transgender people upset.
If he were serious, I'd sing his praises. But instead, I know better.
I cannot believe that I had to take time out of my day today to attempt to teach a grown man how to behave appropriately.
I feel that he should resign, and if he doesn't, I would look at county council to talk to legal and see what they can do about removing him.
Here to respond is the lesbian woman of color and Delaware County Councilman Ryan Webb. So you say you're a woman of color. What kind of color are we talking about here?
I am identifying as a woman of color due to my extensive Native American history, Cherokee. As a matter of fact. And and very proud of that, very proud.
Are you more Native American than Liz Warren or less?
Well, you know, I don't profess to know the history of Liz Warren, but I think it's pretty consistent that I have Cherokee on both sides of my family, so I think it's enough to self-identify as a woman of color.
Yeah,
yes.
she only had one side, Cherokee, so you probably are more Cherokee than she is. What actually makes you a lesbian?
Well, you know, I'm glad you asked that question, Jesse. I've been asked that before. The fact that I am a lesbian is that I am identifying as a woman of color.
Got it.
I am continuing to retain my preferred pronouns of he and him. And I am married to my beautiful wife, Brandy. She's running for the Muncie City Council in tomorrow's election. And it makes me a lesbian because I'm completely in love with her, even though I identify as a woman. We have 6 children together. So I think it more than qualifies.
That this man is identified as a woman of color, right? They don't want that. They don't like that. They're basically saying that he's playing the games. But this is what you really should do to combat this crazy idea of identifying the way you feel. I wish I could identify as a rich person, but obviously I am not rich. But if that was reality, no problem. But it's not reality. It is bogus ideology. Have a blessed day.